everybody, welcome back to Crafting and Crime Daily. I'm your host, Rebecca, and before we get into what's going on in the Michelle Draconis trial, please remember to subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and once you're subscribed, this is the part I always forget, hit the notification bell. You want to hit all so you don't miss a single episode. So what's been going on in the Michelle Draconis trial? I have been so caught up and involved in the Jennifer Crumley trial that this slow going Michelle Draconis trial, I forgot is going on, but it is still going on. Now, what did Michelle Draconis do? I have no idea. What did she know? I have no idea. Because, like I said, this trial's going at a snail's pace. We're 3 weeks into this trial. Michelle Draconis is been charged or has been charged and is being tried for conspiracy to commit the murder of Jennifer Dulos. Michelle was having an affair, or yes, she was having an affair with Fotis Dulos, Jennifer Dulos' husband. So the affair precedes Jennifer and Fotis' divorce. Now, Fotis and Michelle were living at the home in Farmington, Connecticut, on Jefferson Street, this gorgeous home that he used to live in with Jennifer. So meanwhile, Jennifer and the 5 children, they've rented another home. So one night when she's, or day, when she's supposed to go to New York and have these meetings, Jennifer, and then she was going to meet her children's nanny in New York with 4 of the 5 children who had orthodontics appointments. She never shows up, and she is never seen again. And she is presumed dead. And we're going to talk about why that is, because we do get to hear from forensic people this week. But the focus shift this week to a different vehicle. There's a lot of vehicles involved in this case. The first one is the Ford Raptor, which is a truck that was seen in downtown Hartford. And we now know that it was Michelle Draconis and Fotis Dulos in that truck. And some of the evidence that came in this week is forensic evidence showing that the t-shirt or the shirt, the Vinnie Vine shirt, and the bra that were fished out of the trash do have blood on them. Now, we don't know what the DNA is. We haven't heard from the DNA person about whose blood it is, but we know that those had blood on them. And we also know that they tested several of the trash receptacles for fingerprints and did not find any fingerprints of Michelle Draconis, which I didn't expect they would. She was in the truck the whole time. And they did find fingerprints of Fotis Dulos. So we know for sure that this was them. And Michelle, in her police interviews, said, yeah, that's us. But she said, I was on the phone. Anyway, so that's one of the vehicles. There's another vehicle that she would drive, the Jeep Cherokee. There's a third vehicle, which, is there a third vehicle? Ford Raptor. There's a Porsche that was somehow involved in an accident in a prior year and was parked in the garage at a home that Fotis owned where his mother used to live. And you can see pictures of that. It's the windows busted out, the front seats are missing, and yeah. So now and there's another vehicle, more vehicles. There was a Chevy Suburban that the testimony from, or the through the interviews of Michelle Draconis, she hasn't taken the stand. Through the interviews, we've learned that this was a vehicle they would use when they had the 5 kids would come to visit that were living with Jennifer. So, and then the final vehicle, which I haven't told you about yet, is a red Toyota Tacoma. So that's got a lot of attention this week. The person that would apparently was the company vehicle. Fotis owned a company called the Ford Group, where he constructed new houses. And these, he would take these 100-year-old homes and just refurbish them and sell them for a nice hefty price. And these homes are gorgeous, thousands of square feet, these homes. And so this was the company vehicle, but it was driven by a guy in the company whose name was, and I probably have to say it phonetically. What was his name? Hold on. I did write it down. Paul Gugnani. Gugnani? I don't know. Everybody butchers the last name when they say it. So he worked for the Ford Group as a project manager, and he drove this truck. So apparently, this is what came in this week. They went back once they found out that this truck was somehow in the picture. They went back and they got surveillance footage of the truck um, headed towards New Canaan on which they were going. It was going south towards New Canaan on the morning that Jennifer disappeared, and then a few hours later, it was going north back to Farmington from New Canaan. So they got a search warrant for that truck. They also, this is how the truck came on their radar. They were actually out serving the search warrant on the Jefferson property, and they were standing out there talking to Michelle and Fotis when they see this Toyota Tacoma truck um, drive by, and they're like, they knew about it, but they weren't sure it was involved. But it apparently it slowed down and then kind of circled the property and then drove off. So they went after it, stopped it, and Paul was driving it, their employee. And so they said, we're going to take possession of this vehicle. Now, I don't know if he was ever arrested. I don't think Paul has ever been arrested, but through his attorney, we have learned that he was offered immunity in exchange for testimony, but he has not taken the stand yet. So what he has to say, I have no idea. Yes, Fotis was driving the truck that morning. The police believe that Fotis was driving that truck to New Canaan. He committed the murder, and then he drove the truck back. When they saw him in this truck and they took possession of the truck, they said, what are you doing? And he said he was just returning from New Canaan. Apparently, they had a property in New Canaan. He appeared very, very nervous, and he even gave the officers consent to search. You can search the truck. There's no, you're not going to find anything. But they said he was full of sweat, which would be, why would you be all sweaty if you just drove back from New Canaan, which takes like an hour, over an hour, and if you're in an air conditioner vehicle, why are you all sweaty? So they ask him, hey, why are you all sweaty? And it's at this point that he admits, oh, I was over at the Deerfield property because Fotis had asked me to remove the seats from the Toyota Tacoma, which were in the bed of the truck, and put in the Porsche seats. So that's why the Porsche seats were missing when they searched the Porsche. They were in the vehicle, this red Tacoma vehicle, which is so weird because when they actually conducted the search of this Toyota Tacoma, the red seats weren't, or the Porsche seats were not affixed to anything. You just set them in there. But apparently this Paul guy was smart enough to not get rid of the other seats, and they were still in the bed of the truck. So all of those have been tested for blood, and my understanding is nothing that was tested in the Toyota Tacoma came back with any blood on it. Now, I don't know what, we know they've tested those seats that came out of the Toyota Tacoma. And I believe those were probably negative as well, because one of the arguments that the defense attorney is being made is that the prosecution is spending a lot of time on evidence that has no relevance. It was never presumptive positive or positive for blood or fingerprints or any evidence. So why do we keep talking about all this? And I'm asking the same question. What does this have to do with Michelle Draconis's frame of mind? Like, I think we're proving, we know that she's dead. The jury knows now. Okay, she's dead. Jennifer's dead and probably killed by Fotis, and he's trying to cover it up. But what did Michelle know? Now, what the jury has not heard yet is that um, they had that car detailed. Fotis took um, that car to get it detailed, and then Michelle met him at the detail place and helped him detail this car. So did she know? Hey, hey, Fotis, why are you doing this? Why are we detailing this car? Because the detective that took the stand said this Toyota Tacoma was incredibly clean, right down to the wheels, and like you can see, I'll put a picture of the wheel. It's spick and span clean, which may be why they didn't find any blood in this car. So the other thing they've done this week is they put on two of the neighbors took the stand, and they both had surveillance cameras, and they talked about what you can see on the Jefferson property where Fotis and Michelle were living from their surveillance point. But we haven't seen the surveillance footage. So what is that surveillance footage going to show us? We don't know yet. So yesterday they had on the stand all day, a retired forensic person who did the testing for blood, and she held up the Vinnie Vine shirt and the bra, and um, told the jury yes, there was human blood on these items. Okay. Oh, the other witness that they put on was the Fotis duelist at the time that Jennifer went missing. Uh, she goes missing on a Friday. Well, that Wednesday he had visitation, and all of his visits by this point were supervised. So they put on the supervisor who was with him on that Wednesday visit to the home that Jennifer Dulos was renting. And we had heard testimony earlier from the nanny that the visit took place outside on the patio, that he Fotis brought dinner and they all ate out on the patio, and this supervisor backed that up. Yeah, the visitation took place on that patio. Fotis never had any direct contact with Jennifer. She said they seemed very amicable, but at no time did he enter the house. But we know that his DNA, not fingerprints, his DNA was found in that kitchen. So, all right, so we know Fotis is guilty, okay? But Fotis is deceased. What, at this point, if the prosecution were to arrest, I'd have to say not guilty because I haven't seen what did she know. I don't know what she knew, Michelle. What she conspired to do. When he threw out all of that stuff driving around Hartford, she said, "I'm on my phone with my friend," and she, when asked about why are you dumping trash, she said, "Well, you said we've done that before." The only thing she felt was unusual about that whole situation was that they were in this particular neighborhood. They'd never been in this particular neighborhood before, and she didn't think it was a very good neighborhood. That's it. So that's the update on the Michelle Draconis case. Yeah, I don't know where it's going from here, but it doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video. I will keep you updated on the Draconis case as it progresses, starting back on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget, I'm going to be live tomorrow with another episode in the Jennifer Crumley case. During the live, I'm going to show the remainder of her direct testimony and the cross-examination of Jennifer Crumley. So you're not going to want to miss that. And that'll be at 10 a.m. tomorrow Central Time, 10 a.m. Central. So come get your coffee, get your craft, and we'll sit down and we'll watch that testimony. I'll see you then. Bye, everybody.